About 4 months ago, I did a video on why Manchester United fans hate the Glazers. It was my first video on this channel after several years. And it was around the time when the Glazers decided that they were going to sell the club, interest was starting to build up, and the first bidding round was about to commence. We're now in July, and the takeover process is still not done. So in this video, I would like to go back to about 8 or 9 months ago when the Glazers first decided that they needed investment, analyze everything that's happened between then and now, and try to see where we could go from here. Because frankly, none of us know what's going on anymore. Hello everyone, my name is Samuel, welcome back to the channel, and I've got on another hiatus again. 3 months to be precise. It's because of my uni. If you didn't know, I'm a final year engineering student, so there's a lot of assignments and projects I have to attend towards. I also have my final papers and my final year project I have to focus on, so there isn't really enough time for like outside activities, outside my clubs. So this had to be sacrificed because, well, I need 7 hours of sleep a day and this takes really long. But this is my semester break. Hopefully I can get some content out while I still can. And that's really about it. Before I waste anyone's time, let's get into the video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe. Actually, wait until the end of the video. Only subscribe if you like it. That's really about it. Let's get into it. To begin everything off, I think we have to go all the way back to where it all began in November of last year, when the Glazers announced that it was looking for strategic alternatives for the club. The club statement says that it was looking for strategic alternatives to enhance the club's future growth, but we all know the reason why. Years of mismanagement of the highest order, coupled with the fact that there was a low profit during the COVID times, meant that the club's finances were completely destroyed. In addition, the stadium is crippled and needs renovating, and the Glazers aren't willing to invest any money into the club. So there really isn't enough money on the table for the club to upgrade its facilities as well as invest in the football team at the same time. I don't think people realize it here. If there is no external investment, we could go completely bust by the 2030s if we try to do both at the same time. It's one or the other. We do need investment to do both. It's just not sustainable. We barely got enough cash as it is. We owe about £250 million in transfer fees. Our wage bill is one of the highest in Europe. And we've only been in the UCL quarterfinals twice since Ferguson's retirement. Once was the season immediately after. So there isn't a large pool of TV money to fall back on. So this was on the cards. But we had to wait another month for the Glazers to decide that they do want to sell. I think the biggest indication that the Glazers are looking to sell came in December of 2022 when they linked up with Raine Group to broker their sale. So who are Raine Group and what are they tasked with doing? So Raine Group are a New York based investment banking firm, and their task in this particular role is to analyze any bid that's come in for the club. So if you send in a bid to buy either 100% or just maybe a small portion of the club, your bid will be sent directly to Raine. They will analyze it and then propose that bid to the Glazers with their opinions. At least that's what I understood of it. If I'm wrong, do let me know because I'm still new to this stuff. And it's not the first time they are asked with handling the sale of a Premier League club, as they were also the same group that handled Chelsea's sale in early 2022. So the Glazers linking up with a firm like this, the jig was up. They were looking to get out, and interest slowly built. Ineos, owned by British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe, publicly declared interest in buying Manchester United after their unsuccessful attempt at buying Chelsea. Qatar also rocked up after failing to buy a minority stake in Liverpool from FSG. There were also other Middle Eastern countries involved, such as Saudi Arabia, and even hints of Dubai coming in, potentially creating a Dubai v Abu Dhabi in Manchester. There were also investors looking at a minority investment, with Milan's owner, Elliott Management, being among them. The biggest club anyone could buy is up for sale, and everybody wanted a piece of that pie. And soon, the bidding process was about to commence. The deadline for the first round of bidding was set to around late February, and from the off, It was clear. If the Glazers wanted a sale, it was gonna be between two parties. On one side, you have the 9-2 Foundation by Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani. Or at least that's what I think his name is pronounced. If I'm wrong, do let me know. They sent in a bid to buy 100% of the club, and the statement included how the fans are gonna be at the center of their approach, the erasing of the debt, and investing in the footballing side of things, as well as the wider community. But this is where the conversation gets a little uncomfortable, as Sheikh Jassim is literally Qatar royalty. His dad is the former Emir of Qatar, his brother is the current Emir of Qatar. Combine this with the fact that they're going for the "we're not state back" approach, as well as the denial of accusations against sports washing, it's not looking good. But we'll leave them on this side for now, and we'll go to this side, which is Ineos, owned by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. They sent in a bid to buy the majority of the club. Their statement is a little more toned down, with mentions of how they're going to make Manchester United the #1 club again, how they want us to be a beacon for progressive fan-centered ownership, and how they want to put the Manchester back in Manchester United. They're no stranger to sports ownership, as they also co-own French club ODC Nice and a third of the Mercedes F1 team. They also have their own Shenanigans, with accusations of greenwashing, which is basically sports washing but with petrochemical and sports. There were also other bidders, most notably from Finnish billionaire and philanthropist Thomas Siliakis. Again, at least that's what I think his name is pronounced. If I'm wrong, let me know. Whose whole vision relied upon the fans owning half the club. So from what I understand, he's gonna buy the club with his money, and he's gonna sell 50% of it off to the fans. The fans will basically own 50% of the club according to how much share they buy, and they will have a say in the decision-making process alongside him and his board. But that vision will never see the light of day, as after the second round he backed out, calling this process a farce and that the Glazers have no care for the club, which sounds about right, actually. There were also investors looking for a minority investment who sent bids in, but if the Glazers wanted a sale, as I said earlier, it was going to be between 9-2 Foundation and Ineos. Eventually, the bidding for the third round closed in late April, but that wasn't the end of the story at all, as that was the beginning of a set of weird events. The shenanigans start immediately after the deadline, as the day after, Mike Keegan, who has been on top of this saga and has been a reliable journalist throughout this whole process, came out with an article saying Ineos is now in pole position to buy Manchester United. The article states that Ineos' bid for Manchester United has the club at a higher valuation than the 9-2 Foundation. For this to all make sense, we have to dial back a bit. So the Glazers, they do not own all of the club. They own 69% of it, and the remaining 31% are owned by people I do not care for in the form of minority investments. The Qataris' bid is simple. They want all of it. The 69% the Glazers own, and the 31% they don't. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid is a little more complicated, because he wants to buy more than 50% of the Glazers' shares and let them keep the rest of it. But they won't have a say in the club's matters at all, and there will be put and call options in place to buy the shares out at some point in the future. We never really know what percentage Ineos are bidding for and how the put and call options are going to exactly work, but they're there. That's the info we got. So naturally, when you're bidding for a lesser percentage of the club, your offer is going to have less money. But if you scale both bids to 100%, Ineos has Manchester United at a higher valuation than the Qataris. That's the gist that Matt Keegan's trying to point out. But naturally, with so many moving parts, because you gotta decide, number one, how much percentage you're gonna bid. Number two, how is the percentage that you're not gonna bid for spread out among the 6 Glazers? And number three, how exactly are the put or call options gonna be put in place? It's gonna take really long for everything to be ironed out. And with the Glazers naturally being slow decision makers even in the transfer market, it's gonna take extra long. And that's why there's been multiple reports that's come out about how the Glazers are trying to spread the remaining percentage. There's been rumors about only Joel and Avram staying. There's also been an article about all 6 wanting to stay. But one thing to remember is, even if that's the case, the percentage that the 6 own combined will be the same. It's just that how they're spread out. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos will have a set fixed percentage. They are the only ones who have a say in the club. not the 6 Glazers or 2, whoever wants to say. That's a big misconception I've seen. The Qataris, after falling behind, didn't just give up either. They sent in a 4th bid, which was insignificant to say the least. It didn't really match Ineos' valuation at all, and a 5th bid, which was another point in chaos. Cause you see, between that bombshell Mike Keegan drop and the 4th bid, and between the 4th bid and the 5th bid, there was dead silent from the Qataris. But 2 days after the 5th bid, David Ornstein dropped a bombshell that the PSG president Nasser Al Khalifi has been involved in the deal. The Glazers have been going behind Jassim's back, knocking on Al Khalifi's door, basically asking Khalifi to get Jassim to increase his bid. This was huge for multiple reasons. Number one, this is a huge scumbaggery move from the Glazers, basically asking an older brother to basically bully the younger brother type of situation. Number two, you gotta remember PSG is owned by Qatar Sports Investment, and they are technically not state-owned on legal documents, but they are state-owned by the same country that's trying to buy Manchester United. So the fact that, number one, the we're not stake back claims, and number two, that PSG and Manchester United are separate entities owned by separate companies, that's completely out the window. This badly kept secret is no longer a secret, but the bid itself was significant, as that not only brought Qatar back into the frame, it brought Qatar into the lead. An exclusive from Reuters dropped saying that the Glazers are negotiating exclusivity with the Nike 2 Foundation. And this is where we sit, 3 weeks since that exclusive, with no news or update, and nobody knows what's gonna happen next. The only thing I can really say about this is this process has been a complete farce. We started in November, the first bids were in February, we're in July now. How do you still not know who the preferred bidder is? Like, come on, man. It's getting to a point where the stuff on the footballing side are being affected. This was supposed to be a crucial summer for Erik ten Hag and co. And they can't do the deals they want to do because the ones up top aren't freeing up cash, which means you can't pay for players. We had to make do in January, and it looks like we have to make do in the summer again. Even forget the footballing side for a minute. People employed within the club that are not associated with the footballing side, their livelihoods are at stake here because they don't know the future of this club. They don't know whether they're going to keep the job or not. The fact that they don't know where their future lies, and the Glazers do not care, which I guess fits in line with everything that they've stood for in the last 2 decades. Milk out every penny they can from the club without spending anything, regardless of how that impacts the results on the pitch and people's livelihoods. And cut. What the fuck was that? Anywho, that's the end of the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. I won't say I particularly enjoyed researching this one because I knew every single detail, so I just had to put them in order. But I do hope you enjoyed it. And because this thing is all over the place, the process has been a complete disgrace. So this kind of just summarizes and puts it into a timeline. So hopefully you did enjoy it. And if you like my content, I will put some stuff at the end of the video, like pop-up videos or whatever that's called, and you can watch them. And if you do like this stuff, don't forget to click like, click subscribe, turn on the post notifications so that you don't miss my future videos. That's really about it. Hopefully I can make more content. I don't have that much lined up, maybe more shorts I want to do so that it's more sustainable, but that's really about it. Until next time, take care.